Saw Madam Web in the theaters. Overall, I would say it's a decent movie. Nothing too spectacular. I don't think it's as bad as the critics have been saying. I mean, it is kind of dry, action-wise. Um, there's maybe like 2 minutes of action throughout the whole movie. And it did take a little bit for the story to develop, but overall, I don't think it's as bad as what people were saying. It just sets things up, I think, for future movies that will be a lot better. That's why I think it really stands out a little bit. Even though I am kind of tired of the whole spider universe, spider character, superhero type things, like getting bit by a spider, kind of over that kind of shit. But it is what it is. I would say it's still a decent movie, but you could definitely hang off seeing it in the theaters. You really don't need a theater experience to really get the full effect of the whole movie. I mean, I'll give you a quick rundown of the movie. Basically, in the beginning, this lady was trying to research spiders in the Amazon for their healing properties, and the guy that was hired to protect her, watch over her, actually killed her once she found the spider. He was actually looking for it himself for years. So when she found it, he actually killed her. Well, she was actually pregnant at the time. He knew that as well. He wasn't really trying to kill her per se, but she was not willing to give up the spider. When he tried to grab it from her, the gun went off. He actually killed like 3 other people when she came back to the camp the one day when she found it. Pretty cool looking spider. So I'll give them credit for that. And then these tree people, I don't even make me say the name of the people. Some tree people from the Amazon, or Peru, I guess. I don't know if the Amazon's in Peru. Whatever. Took her and tried to heal her, but she still ended up giving birth. But she didn't survive, but the child did. And there was a quick little scene how the one guy that was saving her said that I will be here waiting for you when you come back for answers. And then it sets off from there where she's in New York, the child, Madam Web, I guess as you want to call her. Name's what, Cassie in the movie, but technically it's Madam Web. She's a paramedic for the fire department for New York. She's going around saving people, and she's tries to save this one guy on a bridge. After he saves her, the car actually goes into the river, and she actually dies. And that's when she starts getting her visions, where she can see a little bit into the future. Not a terrible amount of time, maybe like a minute or two at first. And then she ends up saving these girls that she had interactions with. She almost hit one with an ambulance. She saved the one's stepmom. And what was the other one? Oh, the other one lived downstairs on the first floor of her apartment. So she had interactions with these 3 women. And these 3 women play a part, or girls, I guess they're teenagers, play a part because they're supposed to kill the bad guy who shot her mom in his vision, because he actually had the powers as well, because he had the spider and it bit him, or he made it bit him. So he developed like basically Spider-Man type powers. So it was kind of redundant in that aspect. You're just like, oh look, there's another like dark Spider-Man. We have like another Venom type character. That's sort of what he felt like. So be prepared for that, unless you like Venom. Anyway, she ends up saving them in the subway. They all ended up being together. And that's how the story sort of revolves from there. He did kill this one NHS woman. He slept with this one night to get access to some kind of super secret facial recognition software that he uses trying to find these the three teenagers throughout the rest of the movie. That's pretty much the storyline for most of the movie. They're trying to escape him, and she's not really developing her powers yet, but she's starting to realize her life is actually intertwined with her mother's and her mother's research, because she still has her mother's research book. So she actually goes back to Peru to try to find, I don't know if they don't, I can't remember, they really did say she was going back for spiders, but she was just basically going back for answers. And she knew about like the legend of these tree people, but it was more or less trying to find some answers. And when she did that, the one guy that said in the beginning of the movie, "I will be here waiting," basically set everything else up for the last half an hour of the movie, where her mother is actually looking for the spider in these legendary healing properties, because Cassie / Madam Web had some kind of muscular deterioration type disease. She was going to be born with it, so her mother didn't have any options. That's why she went to Peru to find this spider in hopes that it would heal her, which it actually did. So that was sort of like the backstory of her mother going and doing the research, which is pretty cool. A little bit different, sort of feels like a mix of different stories and movies from over the years, but whatever the case may be. And she actually gains some more knowledge in her power, and she can control it a little bit more when she comes back. She leaves the teenagers with her or paramedic partner. He's watching them, but it's kind of weird because her friend, the EMT guy, is actually watching his sister while her husband's away, deployed or something, and they're actually she's having a kid, and the water breaks, so instead of them hiding out, they have to go to the hospital, and that's like the big end scene fight set up. So when like Cassie comes, I think her name's Cassie, whatever, Madam Web comes back from Peru, she finds them gone, but she has visions of where they're going to be, so she goes after them, and they have that like big fight scene that leads to some like fireworks facility that actually like caught fire, had an explosion earlier in the movie as well. So another like interwebbed, I guess, since it's called Madam Web, scenario. And then they ended up, her visions actually saved the teenagers a few times, and she actually ends up killing the dude that was going after the three teenagers herself. But yeah, that dude's visions were of the three teenagers killing him in like spider outfits. So when you see the outfits, like I said, Madam Web, I'm not like too familiar with the comic book aspect of it, but you just got like 4 or 5 like new spiders, like characters, like right then and in this movie. That's why I say it's a little redundant, but their costumes looked cool. It did feel a little bit Iron Man-y, like Peter Parker's 8-legged spider, Death Ray, whatever you want to call him. The one was like that, and they had like more superhuman powers. Like when they showed them off, like in the end credits, like how they're gonna save the world and fight crime, like going forward in their little Madam Web's spider universe. But again, this movie pretty much just sets up for future movies. It's nothing too special, so don't go thinking going in that it's going to be anything great, even action-wise. Yeah, it's just a pretty straightforward, sort of dry movie with like 2 minutes of action, 3 minutes of action, just setting up for future franchise movies. I mean, if you want to go see it on a cold night, go see it, but otherwise you can wait to stream it. And again, there's really no real CGI that you're going to lose seeing it on a TV, or sound effects you're going to see in it. So don't expect to see any of that. But I don't know. For being a 2-hour long movie that was kind of dry, it really didn't seem like 2 hours. I guess a little bit of twisting, how it felt a little bit different, kept my attention the whole time. So check it out if you want. If not, that's my quick little review. I don't know, maybe we'll see how good the future movies will be.